the continental United States and affect our weather. We're going to be looking at one late Friday night and early Saturday morning. This particular low pressure system is hooked onto the low that is moving through right now. What we're looking at, as John said, was a north breeze at 14. So the front now has moved through. The temperatures are dropping just a little bit. We were warmer a little bit earlier this morning, but we're going to warm back up as we go through the afternoon, still with that north breeze. But the low that's riding on this front down in the Texas Panhandle is eventually going to work its way toward us. It's going to give us kind of a mess. Not so much during the day on Friday. Friday looks to be okay, pretty nice. We should have some sun around. We'll have an east breeze. And the reason for that is that low pressure system is going to get close enough to us. So with the counterclockwise flow, we're going to see some east winds. It shouldn't be all that heavy as far as wind speed goes until Friday night. And then during the day on Saturday, we're going to have to contend with an east breeze, about 25 miles per hour. And then late in the day on Saturday and Saturday night, it's going to change again to more southwesterly. And we're going to be looking at some pretty strong gusty winds late in the day on Saturday night, right around 40 miles per hour or more. And that is going to generate some snow shower activity around. But eventually, late Saturday night and early Sunday morning, everything is going to clear out. So Sunday looks pretty uneventful, mid-40s for a high. And as we mentioned a couple of days ago, it does appear as though Sunday is going to be the pick of the two when it comes to weather this upcoming weekend. So 46 for a high today. That'll be a little bit later. 29 for a low tonight. Sun will set at 7:52, rise tomorrow morning at 7:33. Tomorrow, clouds, but more in the way of sun. 42 for a high, 31 for a low. System is going to be moving in early Saturday morning. So that low pressure system will be over southern Illinois overnight on Saturday night, which is the reason, I should say Friday night. That's the reason why we're going to see the weather shift. And then Saturday is going to start off a little bit on the liquid side. We could see a flurry here and there, but especially later in the day on Saturday and early Saturday evening, it is going to be snow. So, and in some areas, it will be measurable amount of snow. I think the best chance of that is obviously going to be in northern Michigan. Now, we talk about sunset tonight, 7:52. Very interesting. You're going to have a chance to see the northern lights tonight.
Really?
Yeah. If things clear off the way I think they will be, we should see a sunset. And then during the evening hours, skies should be clear enough. So we should be able to see the northern lights. But something that fascinates a lot of people, we've been seeing it on again and off again over the past few years, is 5 planets in a row that you should be able to see on the, I think it's on the western or the northwestern side of the horizon. And a lot of it is going to be, you're going to be able to see it right after sunset.
Okay.
And I'm not talking the moon. The moon's not a planet. But I mean, we're going to be talking Jupiter, Mercury, Venus, Uranus, Mars. They're all going to be, you can see them without the use of binoculars or telescope.
Wow.
There might be one Uranus that we might not be able to see because obviously it's further away than any of those. But for the most part, there's going to be 5 of them. It's going to start on the 25th of March, and they're going to be around for the better part of a week. So
starting on Saturday then.
Yeah, starting on Saturday. Who knows? Saturday night, things should clear off. Maybe you're going to have a chance to see it. But anyway, there's going to be a few days there where you should be able to see something that's rare, but not record-breaking. We're looking back all the way to 2016, 2020, and again last year. This happened. Not necessarily at this time of the year, but over the course of a year, we've been able to see it. And it hasn't necessarily been those 5. In other years, it's been a different combination. But that's the combination that you're going to be able to see. So it's called the Parade of Planets, and it is going to last, as we said, almost a week. Record high in this state set a couple of years ago, 73 in 2021. The record low was 4. That was set back in 1916. And a year ago, we had just under an inch of rain on this state. 41 was our high, 36 was our low. Record-breaking snowfall, you bet, close to a foot, 11 inches. That was set back in 1968. More on the weather as we go through the broadcast coming up.
We'll be talking with Doug Klein from Oppenheimer for our market report today. Then we'll have those commodity prices for you from MAC and Breckenridge. All of that's ahead. But first, the weather report today brought to you by the folks at Nutrien Ag Solutions.
Nutrien Ag Solutions has the local expertise to recommend the corn, soybean, and other seed products that are the best fit for your field. Plus, unparalleled agronomic support with products and services to unlock yield potential and improve crop performance from planting to harvest. Ask about our financing options to help you get more from every acre and lead the field. Visit your local Nutrien Ag Solutions branch or go to nutrienagsolutions.com.
They say there's a secret to growing a great crop. At Nutrien Ag Solutions, they beg to differ. It all starts with a strong foundation, and when it comes to fertilizer, there's no question that Titan XE drives dry fertilizer performance. They've been unlocking the potential in every prill of dry fertilizer with biocatalyst technology for over a decade. Visit lpi.ag/Titan or contact your Nutrien Ag Solutions crop consultant to drive your crop's potential today. Farm Service brought to you today by the Michael Sarr Crop Insurance Agency. They want you to be prepared, Mr. Farmer, for the good things and the bad things. It's called risk management. Take advantage and protect, depending on what is coming at you. And the Michael Sarr Crop Insurance Agency will help you because they're licensed to serve all of Michigan with both conventional and organic crop insurance. You can get a hold of their agents on their cell for questions or emergencies. Or better yet, just call the office, 989-868-4722. The Michael Sarr Crop Insurance Agency. Doug Klein, ready to go?
Yes, indeed. We say good morning to Doug Klein from Oppenheimer. Doug, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How you guys doing?
We're doing well. How are things doing on the Board of Trade?
Well, it's been an awful wild 19 hours. The Fed, of course, raised interest rates 1/4 of a point, which was fine and dandy. Stock market took it in stride, said, oh, that's cool, was up 200 points, and then he started talking. And then the short sellers kicked in, and then the AI short sellers kicked in, and by the end of the day, it was an absolute blowout. So not so good. And then this morning, I think the AI long buyers short covering kicked in, and now we're up 400 points on the Dow, and I still can't catch my breath. It's just nuts. But one thing happened is the dollar is down towards 102, so that's significant as far as commodity exports, everything is concerned. Interesting fact here, Ford lost $3 billion in electric cars last year.
Wow.
So that was kind of a hit, something that was supposed to save the world and all that stuff. So I don't know what's going on there, but it's kind of crazy when the government subsidies disappear, how things change so quickly.
Yeah, once that money leaves the system, things don't look so nice.
Yeah, so I don't know. Lithium was down 43% year over year, so it's not the cost of the batteries, I don't think, that's gouging them, but
interesting.
Who knows? I don't know. So here's your numbers. The May corn is 6.33 1/4, down 1/4 of a penny. December corn 5.50 1/4, down 4 1/4. May soybeans 14.23 3/4, down 24 3/4. November soybeans 12.55, down 17 1/2. The May wheat 6.63 1/2, unchanged, and December wheat 7.02, up a penny. Crude oil is at 71.48, up 58 cents. Heating oil is 262.35, up 1.7 cents. Gasoline is 260.75, that's up 4.75 cents. And natural gas is 234, that's up 3.5 cents. Over to currencies, Canadian dollar, U.S. dollar buys 136.40 at the border, that's down by 86 ticks. The dollar buys 131.01 yen, that's down by 43 ticks. The euro's at 109.03, up 48 ticks. The dollar's at 102.10. That's down 24.5 ticks. Gold and all the precious metals going higher today. 1989 on gold, up 39.40. Silver's 23.27, up 48.5 cents. Platinum's 994.90, up $8.
You take care. Have a good one, Doug.
Yep, you too.
All righty. Doug Klein over at Oppenheimer. What's going on the board over at MAC in Breckenridge? Well, when I called them, they said, boy, what are you calling now for? You should have called 2 hours earlier. Evidently, they were a whole lot better, and I can understand why. Soybeans right now at MAC in Breckenridge down 22. The current crop is at 13.91. The new crop is down 15 at 11.97. Corn is down a penny at 5.88 with the new crop down 3 at 4.91. The wheat at MAC in Breckenridge unchanged, 6.13 for the white, 5.78 for the red. New crop at 6.75 for the white, 6.05 for the red. Market report brought to you by the folks at Ed Raymond and Sons, quality clothing and shoes since 1919. Carhartt, Red Wing shoes and boots, Stormy Cromer accessories, and a whole lot more available today at 151 West Broad Street in Chesaning. They're open 7 days. Check them out at edraymond's.com. And by the folks at the Frankenmuth Credit Union, they're ready to help you with lines of credit, equipment loans, financing for purchasing land, credit cards, and more. Stop by and see why they can be and should be your hometown financial solution. Find out more by going to frankenmuthcu.org. Coming up, who do we have, Jonathan?
We'll be talking with Craig Voorhees from the Rummel Agency after this.
Last year's fertilizer cost too much. This year's fertilizer still costs too much. So maybe next year, instead of paying whatever the market dictates, you should find a new source. Source from Sound Agriculture unlocks more of the crop nutrients that are already in your soil, so you can use less fertilizer and capture the yield you count on to turn a profit. I said to turn a profit. That's more like it. Learn more at sound.ag.
As a farmer, you're always thinking ahead, planning and preparing for the next season. You know that a profitable yield depends on weather and timing. While Morgan Composting can't control the weather, they can save you time, from enhancing your soil before planting season with Dairy Dew compost blends to boosting growth with Dairy Dew granulated fertilizers and finishing the growing season strong with powerful liquid foliants made with kelp, humic, and fulvic acid. Morgan Composting has everything you need to get things going and get things growing in a complete package. Whether your farming operation is a greenhouse, an orchard, or thousands of acres of row crops, save time by getting your entire fertility plan made in one place. Morgan Composting, serving Michigan farmers for more than 25 years. Call the soil health experts now at Morgan Composting or visit dairydew.com to learn more.
Dairy Dew. Lots of things going on out in the farm sector right now. Of course, it's National Ag Week, and Jonathan, you know that here in Michigan, we're celebrating agriculture a lot of different ways because other than California, we are the most diverse state in the United States when it comes to production.
There's a lot of ways to celebrate.
There sure is. Speaking of that, Craig Voorhees with the Rummel Agency joining us right now. And Craig, we have had a lot of farmers ask, and I'm sure you've had some questions about more efficient use of equipment out there to take care of all these crops. And one piece of equipment that seems to be popping up in the conversation a lot more are drones.
Good morning, Terry and Jonathan. Yes, that is right. Just had a question about that the other day. Folks are looking at those and considering them more and more for their farms, not just to scout their fields, but also maybe putting sprayers on them and using them to spray. So if you're, excuse me, go ahead.
No, in that particular case, some of these drones, they're pretty good size, aren't they?
Yeah, some of them will hold 40, 50 gallons worth of product, and yeah, they're a sizable investment for you. So if you're looking at one of those or even a smaller version, make sure you're checking with your insurance agent, because some farm policies will cover the drone. You have to add it, kind of like an ATV or a snowmobile, and some don't. But either way, you want to know that you're protected and make sure, especially, you've got the liability coverage in place.
I guess one question of mine would be, all right, I really don't want to spend the money on a drone right now. I want to see, how it works and how efficient it is. If you hire somebody, and I'm sure there are places out there for hire, what insurance do you have to be aware of? Maybe not necessarily yours, but are they licensed?
Right. That's the question you want to ask, Terry. Are they licensed and are they insured? And don't be afraid to ask for proof of insurance. You're not being a difficult person or somebody that's hard to work with. It's a pretty common practice. And the proof of insurance should come from their agent, not from them. That way you know it's valid and up to date. We've seen things in the past where folks maybe have let their insurance lapse and they doctor the certificate of insurance so it looks like they have it when they really don't. So again, that proof of insurance should come from their agent, not from their cabinet under their desk.
There you go. Good advice, Craig. Something that we've talked a lot about in the past, but now it's really starting to be top of mind aware, and you've got some good advice there. Thanks a lot. We'll take care, and you too.
Thank you.
You bet.
Appreciate it.
Craig Voorhees with the Rummel Agency. Why don't we touch base right now? Is Jerry Smolsky got the plant of the week, maybe? I mean, it is spring, right?
It is spring. Are we starting plant of the week yet, Jerry?
Sure.
Not mistletoe. That's another season. Okay.
There's so many plants that we can choose. Plant of the week, these spring flowering things. We can talk about, how about we do daffodils and talk about them. They're such a great, happy plant. Comes up in the spring, and you just can't look at them and not just go, spring's here. They're so bright and colorful, durable, and deer don't like them. They multiply. So a lot of tulip bulbs, the best year of a tulip's life is the first year it blooms here. Then they kind of go a little bit weaker, and then they kind of hold their own. But daffodils not only bloom good the first year, they multiply and bloom better. And, and people say you should plant them in odd numbers, and I totally agree. Like 101 and like 561. Just plant them by the masses instead of little groups of here and there. I just love seeing them in drifts. So daffodils are a wonderful plant. Now, the bad news is you need to plant them in October for this spring. But, they're great plants. They're spring flowering bulbs. And again, they just wake you up and make you feel like spring's coming. And they are the first sign of spring. They're up already. Mine at my home are up 3-4 inches in all of this cold weather. And they'll tolerate the snow on top of them. And they just keep on coming.
Fantastic. Jerry, take care. Have a nice weekend, okay?
Thank you. And next week, I'll be ready for Plant of the Week.
Hey, there we go. Talk to you again. Jerry Sawalski, Bay Landscaping and Garden Center in Essexville. Jonathan, another topic of conversation, and I know we have to cover this. Craig Voorhees has covered it before. We're talking about cybersecurity. Mm-hmm. A lot of farming operations are really, really asking questions about it because there's a lot of concern. And we did have the opportunity to talk to Eric Pfeiffer with Michigan Ag Today about that very topic.
Well, it's a startling statistic. If cybercrime was its own country, it would have the third largest economy after the U.S. and China. That's how lucrative it is. And agriculture is in the crosshairs of those cyber criminals. It's the second largest target for hackers.
People eating is critical to everybody.
And that's Special Agent Byron Franz with the Milwaukee Division of the FBI. He says agriculture of any size and commodity is at risk. In the past few years, we've seen cyber attacks on international commodity trading firms, national meat packers, and regional grain cooperatives.
And I can tell you that cyber threat actors are increasingly targeting food and agriculture businesses in the United States because they know that the likelihood of the payout is greater because it's so critical. It's a critical infrastructure.
Franz adds that, unfortunately, we need to be on the defensive 100% of the time. while cyber criminals only need to succeed 1% of the time to really disrupt things. Training your employees to understand phishing, that's phishing with a PH, not the fun kind that gets you out of the house, is of utmost importance.
That's a targeted attack against you based upon email and text where they're trying to get you to click on a link or download an attachment of some sort, which has malware, bad software attached that allows them access to your network. Phishing is mass distributed pain. That means people are sending this out pretending to be an Amazon scam or Norton or well-known providers that people may be utilizing, that the attackers are pretending to be these people and conning them into, hey, you have to do this to patch this.
Franz and the FBI remind us to make sure passwords are strong and that using multi-factor authentication to gain access to critical systems will help prevent attacks.
On the line with us right now, Steve Anderson over at Baird and Company. Steve, understand that the market's really reacting quickly over a number of things so far this morning.
I would say yes. And right now, they're reacting in a positive direction.
We'll take it.
You will, huh? Good,
Yeah.
Good plan. We have the Dow Jones Industrial Average right now up by 411 points, putting it, 415. My screen blinked here on me. Holy smokes. Now it's really reacting. Up 420 at 32,450.
They must be listening.
Yeah, on 313 million shares. NASDAQ ahead by 264 at 11,935. Volume there, 352 million shares. Local interest, we've got Caterpillar, 224.31, up 436. Deere, 398.99, up 402. CMS 59.16, up 45. Dow 52.75, up 137. DuPont 69.25, up 105. Corteva is 57.89, up 45. GM 34.47, up 42. Trinzio 21.37, up 89. Walmart 141.38, up 186. Huntington Bank 10.99, up 33. Independent Bank bucking the trend. It's at 17.38. That puts it down 6 cents. And AT&T is ahead by 17 cents at 18.56.
You have a great day, Steve. Thanks again.
I will. You do the same, Terry. Bye-bye.
You betcha. Steve Anderson over at Baird and Company. If you ever wondered how the Farm Mall got its name, well, there's a half a dozen. Well, there's more than a dozen, probably 24 different reasons why. And it is because the tractor is very diversified as well, anywhere from 35 to 140 horsepower. And at Weiss Equipment in Frankenmuth, they carry the wide range of those Case IH Compact Farm All Series tractors. Everything from the Value Pack Compact Farm All A to the Deluxe Compact Farm All C and C Series with cabs. The tractor does it all, so no matter what you're doing, Can Do comes in red, and it's called Farm All. See them today. Get more information on them by going to Weiss Equipment in Frankenmuth, doing it right longer. Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at Steiner Tractor. New parts for old tractors made easy. Doesn't make any difference what you have now or what you had years ago. Steiner more than likely has got the part for it, especially the older ones. Check them out today. 800-234-3280 or go to steinertractor.com. Back at 12:30 with an update. Now we conclude our program with the playing of our national anthem.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studio.